Jealousy sucks and it can really wreck your life. So I'm going to show you how to deal with it in a way that stops wreaking havoc. And in fact, I'm going to show you how to turn it around so that you can look at it as actually the best thing that's ever happened to you. And then at the end, I'm going to show you the exact framework that I use to do exactly that. So what is jealousy? Usually it's whenever you see someone that has something or someone that you want and you can't have it, right? Anyway, there's a gap, right? It's up here and you're down here. And so what do we want to do? Of course, we want to shrink that gap. It doesn't feel good. And so we do whatever we want to do to fill and shrink that gap. And so what a lot of guys do, and I've seen this from going on 100 dates in just 70 days, you can check out that video. A lot of guys there's two ways that you can close that gap, right? You can either bring everyone and everything else down, or you can lift yourself up. And what I've seen just from talking to other women and letting them talk about other dates that they've been on is a lot of guys are trying to do the thing where bring everything else down. And that is just not attractive. And you can just see, you can tell whenever that's happening. That's why people bring this energy. I've heard that guys on dates, this is why it's like, guys, the bar is set nice and low. All right. Like guys come in and they're just aggressive or they're just expectant and they just want to take and they feel entitled. And it's just weird energy to bring to a date, especially a first date. You don't even know the person. And it even comes out in ways like people are just really aggressive, like talking about how much they like the person immediately, or they just talk about themselves and just talk through the whole date. And it's like all these behaviors is like, ugh, I see the energy of them really just trying to bring down everything else because they're not wanting to do the work themselves. So me and my partner, Dr. Sarah, we did a video about those 100 dates. And if you check that out, then she talks about these emotions and how they're just signposts, right? And by that, it's like you can just take it and use that to see where you are. Let that show you where you are in life. And whenever you're able to just zoom out and see where you are, then you can start seeing a lot of the benefits, right? Like the first benefit is it shows you where your work is, right? It's like if you're having that feeling of jealousy, then you know you want to invest in yourself and you know you can put your time, money, energy into a certain aspect of your life. It's where that deficit is happening. So that's how you can see why the feeling of jealousy is actually something that's great if you can zoom out and use it for what it actually is, the signpost. And the other benefit is it helps you to see what you want, right? If you're having a feeling that's negative because you don't have something, then you can see that you want to put time and energy in working towards that. And that's huge. I talk to a lot of guys who they show up to me and they really don't know what they want. And if that's because they showed up with a whole bunch of expectations of one of their loved ones or someone who has their best intentions at heart, but they want them to live their life the way that they want to instead of the way that the guy wants to. And so just even knowing what you want, that's huge. You can't get somewhere, you can't get something if you don't even know where it is you're going, if you don't even know what it is that you want. So how do you then shift from being someone who's trying to take down the energy of everyone else and shift to a person who knows that they want to lift themselves up and bring out their best qualities so that they can close the gap the more attractive way? The answer is the inside out method. So in the inside out method, there's three connections. If you're feeling jealousy, then you're already on the second connection and you're feeling that negative emotion. So that's just evidence that you haven't taken care of that first connection yet. We all want to have our partners and we all want to be part of a community, but whenever it's that energy is not aligned, then that means we need to go back and take care of that first connection. And that first connection is to self-love, self-acceptance, knowing what your desires, your intrinsic desires are, knowing that you're living your life on your terms, that you're autonomous, and that you're accepting of your desires and you're not shaming them and listening to somebody else tell you that they're bad. Like you've got that first connection on lock, right? Like that's good. You've got that. And you're connected to yourself. And that's really attractive. Whenever you're just walking around, it's like people, you don't know how many times I talk about this on other videos, but I'm walking around and people are just like, oh, I can just feel you. And you're like, I'm just like chilling and just being me. But that self-connectedness and that self-assuredness, that confidence, That's attractive. Going out, not trying to impress anybody else, but just living on your own terms. That's that first connection. And that's what's attractive. So whenever you master that, then naturally people are going to gravitate towards you. And then that's whenever you get that second connection that's just really aligned. And not to mention, whenever you're working on the first connection and you realize how great you are and how good it feels to be working on yourself from on your own terms, you don't have time to be looking out at everybody else and see what they're doing. You don't have time to be jealous, but you're just building your own world. And then whenever you do that, people are just attracted to you and they gravitate to you. And it's in the more aligned way. So then you're not in those feelings of negativity and jealousy and all of that. You're in abundance and expansion and joy and bliss. And so that's whenever it just naturally moves into the third connection, which is to community and your strengths and power and place within that community. And then being able to galvanize that community towards something great. So that's the inside out method. And if you need any help applying that and using that for your own life so that you can really work on that first connection and start building your life of absolute autonomy and abundance and joy, then make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit me. If you hit me up in the comments, I'll definitely get back to you. Let me know what's going on. And then also in the description, there's a link so that you can sign up for your free one-on-one consultation with me. And we'll put together a plan exactly for you. That's what I've got for you today. Just remember that bliss is your birthright. Zoom out.